we dive deep into the wild journey of a man who rose from college wrestling, stormed through UFC cages, and came back to set the WWE ring on fire. In this video, you'll discover Brock's unstoppable rise, his shocking ban, his most brutal matches, and the legacy that makes him WWE's true final boss. So buckle up, because Beast Mode is about to be activated. Before he was the Beast incarnate, he was just a farm boy from Webster, South Dakota, built like a tank, moving like a predator. Brock Edward Lesnar was born in 1977, and by the time he hit his teens, it was clear this guy was not normal. In college, Brock destroyed everyone on the wrestling mat. He became the NCAA Division I heavyweight champion in 2000, showing off not just strength, but real tactical wrestling IQ. WWE took notice and wasted no time. In 2002, Brock Lesnar made his thunderous WWE debut. And within seconds, fans knew this wasn't your average rookie. Paul Heyman, the genius manager, stood by his side and called him the next big thing. And boy, was he right. Lesnar didn't just win matches, he crushed legends. He threw around guys twice his size like ragdolls. It was suplex after suplex, F5 after F5. Total destruction. Within just 5 months, he did the unthinkable. He defeated The Rock at SummerSlam 2002 to become the youngest WWE champion in history, at just 25 years old. The WWE Universe was shocked. A rookie, a newcomer, had just dethroned one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. And he didn't stop there. From The Undertaker to Hulk Hogan, Brock tore through WWE's biggest names like a wrecking ball. His power was terrifying, his speed was unreal, and his silence made him even scarier. Brock didn't need to talk. His fists, his slams, and his F5s did all the talking. He was the real-life final boss, and WWE had never seen anyone like him. But then, just as fast as he rose, he vanished. In 2004, at the peak of his WWE career, Brock Lesnar shocked the world again by walking away from wrestling. He wanted more, he wanted real combat, and that hunger would take him somewhere even more dangerous than the WWE ring. But before we get to that, one thing was already clear. Brock Lesnar wasn't just a wrestler. He was a storm, a freak of nature, a force that didn't just compete, he dominated. And the world hadn't seen the last of him. Cut to black with a boom sound effect. Text fades in, but this was just the beginning. After walking away from WWE in 2004, Brock Lesnar didn't choose rest, he chose war. But this time, it wasn't scripted. It wasn't about entertainment. It was about survival. Lesnar shocked the world when he announced his entry into mixed martial arts. Critics laughed, fans doubted. They said a fake wrestler couldn't survive in a real fight. But Brock was built different, and he was ready to prove it. In 2008, he signed with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, the most brutal combat sport in the world. No scripts, no storylines, just fists, blood, and real pain. His UFC debut was intense. He fought former champion Frank Mir. Brock dominated early, but a rookie mistake cost him the fight. He lost by submission. But instead of breaking down, Brock came back stronger. Just 1 year later, in 2009, Brock Lesnar became the UFC heavyweight champion, defeating Randy Couture in spectacular fashion. The world was stunned. A WWE superstar had just conquered the toughest cage in combat sports. This wasn't entertainment anymore, this was reality. Brock was no longer just a beast in WWE, he was now a legit monster in real life. His size, his strength, his ground and pound, it was overwhelming. Fighters feared him. The crowd roared for him. And UFC pay-per-views, they broke records. But just as Brock was dominating the octagon, the cracks started to appear. Health issues hit him hard. Diverticulitis, a severe stomach disease, forced him into surgeries and time away from the cage, but even illness couldn't stop him completely. In 2016, years after leaving UFC, Brock made a shocking return for UFC 200, where he faced Mark Hunt, a heavyweight knockout artist. And once again, Brock won. The WWE Universe cheered. The MMA world was speechless. Brock Lesnar had once again proved that he was not just a showman, he was the real deal. But then came the fall. Just days after UFC 200, news broke that Brock had failed a drug test. He tested positive for clomiphene, a banned substance that boosts testosterone. The headlines exploded. The critics came back. People started questioning everything. Was his victory real? Was his dominance enhanced? The Nevada State Athletic Commission suspended him, fined him $250,000, and his win against Mark Hunt was overturned to a no contest. It was a dark cloud over an otherwise legendary crossover career. The WWE stayed silent. UFC distanced itself, and Brock Lesnar, as always, didn't say much. He disappeared once again, and the beast went quiet. But here's what made Brock different. Even at his lowest, even when banned and criticized, he remained a draw, a mystery, a force fans couldn't stop watching. Whether they loved him or hated him, Brock Lesnar was always the main event. And soon, he would come back to the one place that truly defined him. The place where chants echoed louder than boos, where Suplex City was born, where his legend would reach God-tier status, WWE. Cut to slow-motion shot of Brock's WWE return with crowd chanting, "Holy shit!" Asterisk. The beast had vanished from the UFC cage, but he wasn't done. On April 2nd, 2012, the unthinkable happened. John Cena had just finished a hard-fought promo on Monday Night Raw, when suddenly, boom! That iconic entrance music hit and the arena exploded. Brock Lesnar was back. And he didn't come to talk, he came to destroy. Brock marched to the ring, stared Cena in the eyes, and delivered an earth-shaking F5. Just like that, the landscape of WWE changed forever. Lesnar returned bigger, badder, and more violent than ever. His new run wasn't about weekly matches or long promos. Brock was now a prize fighter, an event, a storm that rolled in only when it mattered most. His rivalries were massive. John Cena, Triple H, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and even The Undertaker. But one moment changed everything. WrestleMania 30, New Orleans. April 6, 2014. The Undertaker 21-0 at WrestleMania, undefeated, untouchable, immortal. Until that night. In one of the most shocking moments in WWE history, Brock Lesnar delivered a final F5, and the referee counted. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. The streak was over. The silence inside the Superdome was deafening. Grown men stood frozen. Fans screamed, cried, and gasped in disbelief. And Brock? He stood over the Undertaker's broken body, cold, silent, emotionless. This wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. Brock Lesnar was not bound by WWE rules. He was beyond storytelling. He was chaos. At SummerSlam 2014, Brock faced John Cena for the WWE Championship, and what followed was pure domination. 16 suplexes, 1 F5, complete annihilation. From that moment on, Lesnar named the battlefield Suplex City B*Teach. The catchphrase caught fire. T-shirts, memes, and chants flooded arenas around the world. Brock had just reinvented himself, again. He became the undisputed WWE champion, and with Paul Heyman by his side as the ultimate hype man, Brock began a reign of terror. Fans began to notice. Brock wasn't around every week. He didn't wrestle on Raw. He didn't cut long promos. He showed up, wrecked people, and left. Some loved it, others hated it. But no one could ignore it. Whether it was Seth Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania 31, Roman Reigns eating F5s, or Braun Strowman getting manhandled, every Lesnar appearance was an event. In 2019, Brock shocked fans once again. He wasn't even in the match. But at the last second, he entered the Money in the Bank ladder match, climbed up, and grabbed the briefcase like a boss. And then came one of the funniest versions of Brock ever, Boombox Brock. He danced with the briefcase on his shoulder like it was a stereo. He trolled Seth Rollins. He partied with Paul Heyman. It was weird, wild, and unforgettable. Even when Brock wasn't breaking bones, he was breaking expectations. Brock's later years saw a different beast. He passed the torch to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 36 during the pandemic era, in a short but symbolic match. Then came Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and the ultimate modern rivalry. Their battles were massive, emotional, and full of high stakes. Universal titles, family pride, and legacy were all on the line. But Brock surprised everyone again this time, not with brutality, but with a cowboy hat and a smile. Yes, we met a new side of Brock the Cowboy Beast. Funny, relaxed, but still deadly. This version of Brock Lesnar, with the braid, the beard, and the southern swag, became a fan favorite instantly. He destroyed people with charm and chaos. In 2023, Brock set his sights on Cody Rhodes, giving us a rivalry filled with blood, betrayal, and brawls. Many thought Brock was winding down, but he proved he still had gas in the tank and violence in his soul. From shocking returns to suplex storms, from ending streaks to dancing with briefcases, Brock Lesnar didn't just give us matches. He gave us moments. Moments that fans will talk about forever. And in those moments, one thing became clear. You don't book Brock Lesnar, you survive him. Brock Lesnar wasn't just a superstar, he was a phenomenon. In an industry built on characters and storylines, Brock was something else entirely, a living, breathing force of nature. Unlike most WWE legends, Brock didn't win over fans with flashy promos or underdog stories. He won with sheer dominance. He didn't climb the ladder, he ripped it apart. Every time he stepped into the ring, the atmosphere changed. You could feel it. The crowd got louder. The lights seemed brighter. The stakes felt higher. Because when Brock Lesnar appears, anything can happen. Brock has always been a magnet for emotion and not always the good kind. Many fans hated his part-time schedule. They booed when he showed up only for big matches. They questioned whether he deserved the spotlight. But here's the truth. They still watched. Because love him or hate him, you can't ignore Brock Lesnar. He's the chaos in an otherwise scripted world. The X Factor. The match you never want to miss, just in case something wild happens. He blurred the line between real and fake, between wrestler and fighter, between monster and man. In video game terms, Brock Lesnar isn't a mid-level boss. He's the final boss, the one you save your best gear for, the one you face at the end of your journey. That's what he became for WWE. Any superstar looking to reach the top? They had to go through Brock Lesnar first. And most didn't survive. He made the careers of others by simply being unbeatable. When Seth Rollins beat him, his star power soared. When Roman Reigns finally conquered him, he became the guy. When Drew McIntyre took him down at WrestleMania, he was truly crowned. And now, Cody Rhodes is being tested by the Beast because that's how you prove you belong. Facing Brock is a rite of passage. Beating Brock is a legacy moment. Another thing that set Brock apart? He doesn't talk much. He doesn't need to. Most superstars cut promos. Brock throws bodies. He lets Paul Heyman speak for him, and that only added to his mystique. He became a monster who didn't explain himself. A man who didn't care what fans thought. A champion who didn't ask for approval. And in today's world of constant social media presence, that silence made him even more terrifying. Brock Lesnar became a global icon not just in WWE, but across combat sports. He's one of the only men in history to hold top championships in both WWE and UFC. That's not just rare, that's legendary. To WWE fans, he's a myth. To UFC fighters, he's a threat. To athletes worldwide, he's a standard. He didn't just earn respect in kayfabe, he earned it in reality. Even behind the scenes, many WWE superstars have admitted they were genuinely afraid of Brock. Because when he goes off script, no one can stop him. In recent years, we saw a new side of him, funny, relaxed, even charming. Cowboy Brock with a hat, a beard, a smirk was something no one saw coming. He cut his own promos, smiled with fans, joked with Heyman, and still destroyed opponents in the ring. It was proof that even after 2 decades, Brock could evolve and stay relevant. This is the question that haunts fans now. Is Brock Lesnar done? Every time he disappears, rumors fly. Is this the end? Will we ever see him again? Was that his final match? But the truth is, no one knows. And that's what makes Brock so unique. He comes, he conquers, he vanishes. No farewell speech, no retirement tour. Just silence. And the looming threat that one day, when you least expect it, the beast might return. Brock Lesnar's legacy isn't just in the titles he's won, the matches he's fought, or the streaks he's ended. His legacy is in the fear he brought, the buzz he created, the respect he earned. He didn't just fight for gold, he became the mountain to climb. And whether you cheered him or booed him, you'll never forget him. Because in the world of WWE, there are stars, there are legends, and then there's Brock Lesnar. From a small-town wrestler to a global beast, from WWE's ring to the UFC cage, Brock Lesnar's journey is one of a kind. He didn't follow the rules. He didn't chase fame. He made the world chase him. He conquered giants. He silenced critics. He turned boos into goosebumps. Brock Lesnar is not just a superstar. He's an era, an unstoppable storm that tore through every arena he entered. And whether we ever see him again or not, one thing is certain. The legend of the beast incarnate will never fade. Because in the end,